naturopathic physician, but I'm also the founder of a local nonprofit organization called Positively Beautiful. We formed about in 2008. We are just like a group of friends basically that came together to do HIV and AIDS prevention in the community. I used to work for some larger nonprofits doing work with patients living with HIV, and I would see all the physical side effects of the AIDS medication. And physical side effects that you could visibly see. So you would see sunken cheeks, buffalo humps, changes in skin. And so HIV and AIDS has a very distinctive look to it, if you know what it looks like. But when you look in the mirror, you don't want to see your disease. You want to see like you're a mother, a daughter, a wife, whatever. You're a woman first, and you're a person first, and a human being first, and your disease is secondary. But I remember that the very first World AIDS Day, like looking out into the audience and seeing a good friend of mine who was in his early 20s who was HIV positive, and thinking how lucky I was to be able to see him there. Because of that like brief instant moment, this day became hugely important to me. Kind of the theme for this year's show is a tribute to Eazy-E from NWA. What's going to start off with kind of an art show. That will be up and running first. So there'll be live artists scheduled throughout the day that are pretty well known in Tucson, doing basically big, huge pieces. We'll also have a lot of vendors there who are artists, so they'll be selling some of their stuff for the holidays. It's all going to be massively discounted. A lot of those artists are giving a percentage back to the show. They have to do 10%, we ask them to do 10%, but most of them are being above and beyond generous with that. We're also having something sponsored by New Belgium, which is called the Easy Does It Polar Bear Triathlon. This is a fundraiser where people come down, you bring a bike, you can skateboard, it's anything you want as long as it's human powered. It's sponsored by New Belgium Brewery. Go to a bunch of different bars as fast as you can. You get a little pin from each bar, you get drink a small New Belgium, and then you do some other events down at Congress, which is consisting of a dunk tank and a 20-foot slide into a pool, which is analogous to like the polar bear plunge that they do in Minnesota. You can win a New Belgium bike, so there's different ways that you can win different prizes. We're going to have an outdoor stage that's going to be mainly movement and dance, for lack of a better description, but the first part, for example, is going to be youth hip-hop from Scrappies. There's also going to be like youth capoeira from Capoeira Brazil in Tucson. We also have a group of belly dancers. Then we go into the night show. The night show is going to be a tribute to Eazy-E. And while that's undeniably controversial, because Eazy-E was like the godfather of gangsta rap, but the thing is he died of AIDS. And he still, that was on his deathbed, this was his dying wish, was not apologizing for who he was, but saying, he wanted people to learn from him. So I think you can also reach out to a lot of demographics through rap, through hip-hop, that you aren't getting to, typically. I think that people tend to treat HIV and AIDS like it's still 1992. The most common method of infection would be men who have sex with men, which typically involves anal sex. Now, interesting part of that is there is a lot more anal sex between heterosexuals. It's a touchy subject, nobody really wants to talk about it, but it needs to be talked about.